Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be doing a quick unboxing of the Alienware 720M wireless gaming mouse. So this has been out for a while, but since Alienware or Dell in general isn't really known for their, gaming mouse or gaming peripherals, I mean, they do make them, but it's not something that people often review. So I thought I'd give everyone a quick sort of look-see at what this is. So as you can see, by the naming scheme, it does seem that this particular Alienware gaming mouse is actually on the higher end of the spectrum, because I have the previous version, which looks like a squid if you sort of look at it this way. This is actually the 610M, so meaning it's one generation before this, right? But then it's on the 6 series rather than the 7 series, so that's a weird naming scheme. So back then it has a micro USB charging port, which you cannot see right here. But this has surprisingly good ergonomics. So we'll see whether this sort of fits the bill. Or basically this follow-up, can sort of hold its own against some of the other mouses that I have. So you basically peel away the tape over here, and then you just sort of slide it open. So what's interesting is that, well, again, before we move on, it utilizes Alienware Command Center, which is not something, again, I don't like Command Center. I think I've touched on that with my headphones video. So there's also, it's capable of, 26K DPI, and then this is probably 8 programmable buttons, and then 16.8 million combinations of RGB. All right, so the new design is actually a lot more balanced. So this, to me, feels like industrial design wise, feels a lot more like an ergonomics, feels a lot like a cross between Logitech and the Razer. But having said that, I've always trusted Dell's UX to deliver on that ergonomic and overall user experience. So holding it like this, makes me feel that it's actually a pretty decent mount. It's not light. You can probably see the weight. I don't have a scale right now, but you can actually get a weight on Dell's website. And sort of looking at the ergonomics of this is actually quite good, because my hands are not particularly big, but I usually use like medium-sized mouse, medium to large-sized mouse, and this feels perfect, in my hand. So there are 2 side buttons on each side, so as you can see, and they're pretty rounded so that you don't feel like it's cutting into your hand, as compared to like the Razer mouse, which is a lot less rounded in its macro keys. All right, so placing the mouse aside, what's interesting is actually the accessories. So as we can see, besides the braided cable over here, which is a USB-A to USB-C cable, the braided cable is actually quite nice. It's actually pretty soft, but it also feels sturdy enough not to break. What's interesting is this accessory box that Alienware provides. So within this accessory box, what's interesting is actually these. So having had the headphone already, it's probably the receiver. So which it is. It's 720M. So the Type-C receiver, and it's decently small. I would have loved it to be slightly shorter, but I mean, we don't have a choice in this matter. So what's interesting is these 2. So originally I thought this is the receiver. Then I was really happy that this receiver is so small, but looking at it, this seems like a pin, right? This seems like a pogo pin. So what happens is that ideally you can plug this in here, so that it has pogo pin, which can then be magnetically attached to, attached to this particular adapter here. So what this does is that, imagine you're in a gaming session and you'd be like, hey, I want to charge this thing. So you just sort of, magnetically attach to it. And the other side, there are 2 there are two Type-C ports, meaning this is probably where it gets connected to the computer, and this, the 2.4 gigahertz port, it just implies that your dongle goes here. It just sort of means that by utilizing one port, it allows for more options, because not only is this sort of like an adapter where you can convert a USB-A to a Type-C, but it also does it in the fact that it helps with charging by using a magnetically attached, sort of connector and docking, but at the same time still allow you to achieve multiple functions, which is very similar to the Razer, but I think this method is actually a lot better than the Razer's method, which caused me quite a bit of trouble when I was using this mouse. But yeah. All right, so I think this sort of concludes my initial unboxing, or basically a quick unboxing, and then some interesting impressions. So this, as you can hear from the click, it's not the most silent click ever, but I can feel that there's not. So when you one of the things that whether they're like when you lightly tap these, do you feel that there is sort of like a dead space between it? That's sort of indicative of mouse quality. I don't feel a lot of that dead space here, so it's fine. It has a satisfying click, and then the scroll wheel is it's quite smooth. And then I might follow up with another video, or in the same video I might transition to the next part if I feel like it, to do some sort of testing. But again, if I don't do testing, thank you for watching. So this is my unboxing for the new Alienware mouse. See you next time.